What's going on? Evan Santiago, Charles. Freezing rain for Pittsburgh? Possibly. Possibly. I wasn't even, I've been so busy, it's been hard for me to stream. I didn't stream last night. I wasn't even going to stream tonight. I have so much work to do for my actual job. But I'm like, I gotta. I'm just overwhelmed with work right now, you know? But, we're going to do a little streaming right now. I need to grab, like, some water or something. Super quick. Yeah, we'll get into it in a second. Don't spam. All right, let's just mute you for the rest of the stream. There we go. All right, let me grab some water. We're going to go over all this craziness. Guys, it's looking more and more like the polar vortex actually could split. That would be a significant development. So that's something I want to cover first. What's going on, Kyle? Before I start getting into questions. So give me half a second. Got another Red Bull. And I'll be right back. She should ruin someone's big moment and announce her album after giving someone an award. Shocker. Beyonce won Best Country Album. Huh? Thought Beyonce was a rapper. I'm just kidding. Where and when for the Polar Vortex? Mid-February. What's going on? Okay. Let's get into it. Open my Red Bull. Look at this. Look at this crazy winter weather out east, guys, that we have setting up on the Euro. Wild. Ice Cube, yeah, I'll get into answering chat's question in a second. I want to go over the outlook. We're not seeing any catastrophic ice in Pennsylvania, but some disruption ice for sure. All right, let's get into it. Here's what we got moving forward. First thing. Here's our latest Euro. We do have, you can see our radar down. I don't have the radar over on my TikTok side just because people can never see it because chat's over it. But we do have, actually, I'll show you on windy, some winter weather moving into, it's actually snowing where I am up here in, it snowed north of Philly. I think it might have snowed in Philly. New York City has snowed a little bit. Getting some snow into Boston up here in the Northeast. Got a decent band of snow that's about to move into Minneapolis, St. Paul. If it's not snowing there yet, it will be soon. And we got a lot of blizzard warnings up here in the Northwest. All staggered through here. Northern California is getting absolutely just dumped, buried in snowfall and rain right now. So that's what's going on. When it comes to our latest updated ice accumulation totals, now, unless you're within 24 hours of ice, they're going to get the totals wrong. So you can take this with the largest grain of salt you can find. First snowstorm, largest amount being projected possibly in Pennsylvania would be about a half inch just to the north and east of, or east of Philadelphia. Definitely possible through parts of the Allegheny Plateau to see that. Definitely possible. What's going on, Poppy? Again, the cities I'm worried about with this ice storm Wednesday to Thursday is going to be cities like Milwaukee to Chicago, Detroit, potentially Pittsburgh, although Pittsburgh might be okay. We'll see. Buffalo, and then we'll see if it affects Philly out here, maybe Albany, some cities like that. But it's coming, and look what right behind it. Ready? Whoop! Another ice storm right behind it. I mean, this is just. Now, what is usually involved with these ice storms? Usually you get a swath of snow to the north of where the ice falls and severe weather to the south. You get ice because you get a large injection of warm air in the mid layers of the atmosphere when you have a deepening low. So you can bet if I go to our I'll answer questions in a second, guys. I just want to go over this first since I just started streaming 5 minutes ago. First storm, deepening low that's pushing that warm air into the mid layers here, allowing for that ice to form. And yes, we could see, I'd expect to see some strong winds and hail and heavy downpours at times from these thunderstorms, tornadoes. The lift will be there. The shear factor we'll have to see. Tornadoes are possible, so I would just prepare. They are possible. We push forward. It's like you got its twin right behind it, right? Like it's like a freaking identical twin. Same storm, Saturday into Sunday. I mean, it's craziness. I mean, you want some snow in upstate New York, Vermont, Massachusetts, New Hampshire. I mean, like this is just back to back. This second one is probably going to be farther south, like the Euro thinks. That could be big snow for Boston and in inland New England. But I mean, this thinks New York City. I think this is going to be farther to the north, but we'll have to see. And again, could that bring a ton of severe weather into the Ohio Valley and potentially down to the southeast? Yes. So, and then again, we're just seeing and then here's your third one, and then you want a huge, almost nor'easter blizzard from freaking Nashville, Tennessee, through the Carolinas, up through the DMV, and up the shore. Will that happen? We'll see. And then another one, and then another one, and then another one. Crazy outlook. For anyone who follows me, Poppy and there's no name. Appreciate you guys. For anyone who's been following me, you know I've been saying this since mid-January. A warm up in the beginning of February, and then a shift back east for winter. A shift with cold air and snowier weather the second half of February. And it's starting to look like I was right again. Let's go. Some of this is luck. Some of it's skill. I'd say it's 50-50. But it's looking like it's going to happen. I mean, you take a look where our Euro wants to put snowfall. Take the end of this run with a grain of salt. Obviously, these models don't know that far out. Look at the return back to the south and east. Look at where it wants to paint that snow again into these regions. So we'll see. We'll see. We can take a look at our GFS. Our GFS has a similar type solution. You can see what the GFS wants to do. Bring that snow back down south and back down to the east. There'd be some pretty happy people down here with this. I can tell you that. So it's something we're watching. Why is this happening? Let me show you something, guys. Let me show you something. Let's go to our northern hemisphere. There's the northern hemisphere. And then I'll get to chat. There's our northern hemisphere. Let's look at our stratosphere. Upper air. Let's look at our stratosphere. Right at the base of our stratosphere. Actually, this would be kind of the tippity top. Let's look towards the base of our stratosphere. No, we'll look here near the top. Or this is near the tropopause. Here's what our polar guys. A lot of people hear polar vortex. They have no idea what it is. They're just like, a bunch of cold air. Here's your polar vortex. Here's your stratospheric polar vortex, which is more important in some circumstances than your tropospheric polar vortex. Right here, that is a strong polar vortex, ladies and gentlemen. That is how it's supposed to look. Okay? This is how it's supposed to look. Why does it look like this? Because we have a decent low pressure, very low pressure over the Arctic, allowing the jet stream winds to speed up, and it's literally a force field when it's moving this quick. The quicker the polar vortex goes, the more circular it is, holding in that cold air. Well, sometimes the globe has other ideas, and Earth has other ideas and wants to start throwing some warm air up into the stratosphere and troposphere up into the Arctic, and start to crunch and disrupt that polar jet. Suddenly we get a high pressure building, and look what happens to our polar jet. This is what's being projected as we get into the middle of February. There's a little bit of lag on this cold air, though, and now we're starting to see it stretching. This is not a healthy polar vortex. This is a sick polar vortex. And if you can put enough pressure on it, sometimes you get a... Wait for this, guys. This would be significant. It hasn't happened since 2018. Sometimes you get a split. Now this right here, you thought winter was over. Winter's just beginning if our polar vortex splits. Because it's going to take a big pocket of air that should be reserved for the Arctic and the polar bears up there. Polar bears? Yeah, and then penguins are in the south. And it's going to just relocate it right down over our heads. And this happened in 2018, and we had below average. We had a really a winter that stretched through April in some parts, even in Central Plains out to the east. It kept our temperatures much colder than they should have been, even through April. And yeah, there's been some different weather services, including a lot over in Europe, publishing some stuff about this, thinking that this split could happen. And if it does, yeah, the groundhog was definitely right, because this would mean our midpoint of winter is maybe now, when it wasn't January 20th. So, or not even that. Yeah, this would be an extension of our winter, and this would be, and with a negative NAO setting up, a negative NAO, and a positive PNA with a ridge that wants to set up here, this would be an extreme extension for winter out here in the east. So, all right. But this isn't guaranteed, but we do have, let's take a look at our GFS. Look at our GFS. Oh, a complete split. A complete split. Just insanity. Insanity. That's how it should be, guys. That's insanity right there. And then, is there one more we can look at? What's our Canadian thing? Nah, our Canadian's not smart enough to do that. Dang Canadians. All right. No, I'm just kidding. Love my Canadians. Anyways, yep. And I'll take questions. By the way, last thing, actually, here's our Arctic oscillation. What does a negative Arctic oscillation mean for us in the lower 48? Well below average temperatures. That's middle of February. EPO, negative, well below average temperatures. WPO, negative, well below average temperatures in the lower 48. NAO, negative. What does that mean? Active storm track out east. Winter storm track pushing into second half of February. Positive PNA to neutral PNA. What does that mean? A enhanced winter out in the east as well. But all of this negative usually means colder weather for the lower 48. I told you guys. I've been telling you this since mid-January. We're so close. Come on, let it happen. Let it happen. All I want to do is be right. Please, we're so close. Keep it going. I want these. I hope. Again, there's a little bit of luck that goes into doing an outlook. I actually thought our winter would be completely different back in like September of last year. So as did everyone, because we were supposed to be in a moderate La Nina, not a weak La Nina. Okay. Laddie, I appreciate it. Euro is projecting a snowstorm in the southeast February 12th. Is that true? Well, Will, there's no model in the world that knows what's going to happen February 12th. It's 10 days away. Forecasting range is about 4 to 5 days for precipitation. But like everything I just showed you says that is a possibility around the 12th based on our atmospheric setup. But you can see this right here. Big snowstorm down there on GFS. Yeah, everything I just showed you says that that's not an impossibility, because we will have an atmospheric setup that wants to bring colder air back down to the south and east, and more of an active storm track down to the south and east. So you need a lot of luck, though, with storm tracks and you know, moisture colliding with that cold air at the right time. Let me see here. Significant severe weather in the south. Yeah, you know, a lot of the severe weather in the Santiago in the near future is going to be in the Ohio Valley, not in the south. So maybe Tennessee gets a little action, North Carolina, but honestly, looks to be looks to be up more in the Ohio Valley up here. Any snow for Long Island? Yeah, you know, the Euro and GFS want to give you a chance for some snowfall as we get into Saturday, Sunday this weekend. But after that, look at this. Snow, potentially another snowfall. Again, second half of February looks good for the Mid-Atlantic up towards the New England coast. What will Mass get this week? I don't know. Let's see. What does the Euro think this week? Here you go. The Euro likes a large swath of 3 to 5 inches this week in Massachusetts. I like it. Stay conservative. Don't want to go too bullish on these totals, but look what it sees as we push into the weekend. Like a foot of snow for the entire state. Not an impossibility. Not an impossibility. There's some big storms coming your way. My throat has been messed up for like a week and a half. My son had a bad cough for so long, and I was like, I'm so glad I didn't get it. And apparently it was just lagging. What's up, Mac? What's the probability looking like for northern North Carolina mountains later on? I think Appalachia is going to see another 2 or 3 good snows before it's all said and done. 2 or 3 good accumulations with this setup we have moving forward. Cold air wants to return to those mountains and moisture, a significant amount. Yeah. Looks like we're getting more snow in Maryland. Yeah, potentially with this type of setup, that's what you would expect. Is it ever going to stop snowing in Buffalo? I don't think so, Julie. You've got snow. What? You got snow over there right now, right? Let me look at my radar. I can't tell. Looks like snow's out off and to your east. You got a little bit of snow that wants to move in tomorrow, and then you got a break. Then maybe you get ice instead of snow on Thursday. That'd be fun for you guys. A little bit of ice on Wednesday and Thursday, and then back to heavy snowfall over the weekend. Yeah, Buffalo will get a break from snow, but it's probably going to be in the form of ice, Julie. Although you may be getting out of there at the right time. It's snowing in Connecticut. Yeah, I'm just north of Philly, and it snowed for a little bit outside here for about an hour. I was like, what the heck's going on? I didn't expect that. It wasn't a lot. How will this ice be in lower Michigan on Wednesday and Thursday? It's going to be disrupting, that's for sure. Here's your. I don't even like looking at ice totals this far out. Our models barely do good with projecting ice within 24 hours. But again, you can see the potential for anywhere from a tenth of an inch all the way up to a half an inch across southern Michigan to central Michigan. So I wouldn't plan to be doing long distance drives or driving at all probably on Wednesday. But if you have to, you have to. Or Thursday, really. We'll see how that progresses. For ice totals, you really got to be closer. These models don't do good with that. It's a very complicated process, how ice is formed. How's the snow looking? I mean, it's not complicated, but it's complicated to forecast. How's the snow looking right now for Long Island, the 12th to the 17th of February? Again, no clue. No one knows how the snow is looking 12th to the 17th. The outlook looks positive for above average snowfall in that region during that time period, but we have nothing. That's out of the forecastable time period. You can see what our Euro wants to do during that time frame. Give you a chance for snow here, give you a chance for snow here, give you another chance for snow right there. So it looks to be an active winter pattern out there around that time, and that has to do with everything I just showed you. Stretching polar vortex, some significant looks at the teleconnection that want to bring that cold air back down to the south and east, allowing for those, and a negative AO especially wants like storm tracks to follow this type of route right here, which is good for you guys out here. So, where's Youngstown, Ohio? Yeah, you guys are probably a little bit more concerned with ice in the short term than snow. This first storm right here could bring some ice, and honestly, but the potential for some severe weather in Youngstown, Ohio, Wednesday. I mean, really, the timing for this ice and severe weather is probably going to be Wednesday evening through Thursday morning. Second storm wants to bring mostly ice and the potential for severe weather into Youngstown too. But then you probably start transitioning into more of a snow look as you get into the second half of February with that Arctic air dropping south again. TFX, God, I appreciate you guys. Will Grand Rapids see snow this week or ice? Probably both. You can see ice with this first system and then probably a good amount of snow with the second one. Appreciate the follows. Appreciate the subs, guys. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. If I just posted a video, I gotta respond to someone, or else TikTok's gonna be mad at me. One second, guys. 1 second. 2 seconds. All right. Almost done. I'm probably responding to someone who's in this who's in chat right now. Okay. Sorry guys. Sorry chat. Wisconsin was a bust last night, not even a centimeter in Oshkosh. Well, you know, you have more snow heading your way, don't you? More snow for the central north Wisconsin there, and then this is going to probably be central north snow, ice central to the south, and then you got another chance. This would be a good snow for you guys. The GFS and Euro have a decent agreement on this being pure snow right there for central to southern Wisconsin this upcoming weekend. So, and then you can see what the Euro wants to do far out. Wants to put a big snow through central to southern Wisconsin as well there. So you got plenty of opportunities ahead of you in Wisconsin from the north to the south for more snow moving forward here. Man, yeah, what were the projections last night for that area? I can't remember. A total for you guys tonight. Let me see here. Let me go back to let's go to our radar. Oh, there is some snow moving in. I don't even, how do you spell that again? Oshkosh. It's going to be tough. You're going to deal with a lot of mixing. With this system moving through tonight. A lot of that snow probably wants to stay to the north, although there's a decent amount of snowfall that's about to move into Minneapolis, Twin Cities, guys. It just says rain for us in Pittsburgh, but that could change. I know. I don't trust some of these weather apps. Yeah, for these next two systems, it really does look like Pittsburgh's going to be dealing with more of a ice and a potential severe weather type of setup. But that switches as we move into the second half of February. I think it's a lot more snow. What's going on, Misty Rain? Will, Brenda. Guys, I'm so close to getting my 3K watch hours on YouTube so I can actually start memberships on there and hopefully freaking monetize that, because since TikTok got banned and came back, they've just erased all the creators' revenue down the hole. Best weather app to use? You know, I don't really use any weather apps, so I don't know. I use Radar Omega for radar and and like live like tornado updates and hurricane updates during those seasons. I've heard people really like AccuWeather though. Yeah, Katie. Oh, Katie Cape Cod. Look at that. What's coming for Bama? Missy, you're going to be a little bit warm here for a while. Luckily, most of that severe weather wants to stay to your north for a while. But again, we'll see what happens here. Look how far south our Euro wants to take this snow and cold air as we approach middle of February. So we're gonna start getting the southeast involved in winter storms again. Second half of February, you may still be on that rain side, but hey, if this polar vortex does stretch enough and does split, maybe you're not. Maybe we have a late winter storm in the south. I mean, guys, the 93 winter storm happened in the second week of March. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but if our polar vortex does split, for any of you who weren't in here earlier, there's been a lot of talk about this. Let's go to our stratosphere. There's been a lot of talk about this. This is something that usually maybe only happens a significant break or split in our polar vortex once a decade. Here's our polar vortex right now. That's a good-looking polar vortex. People always get confused, and they're like, our polar vortex is really strong. Why are we so hot? No, when our polar vortex is strong, we're hot down here in the lower 48. Because when our polar vortex is strong, we have a very low pressure up here in the Arctic, and it's holding in all of this Arctic air where it should be. This is how our polar vortex should be. Sometimes it gets disrupted. Look, our European, Canadian, and GFS all see a bunch of warm air wanting to push in. This is our stratospheric polar vortex. Wanting to push into our troposphere and stratosphere up here in the Arctic in the coming days and weeks. And it's going to take this perfect, strong polar vortex, which, by the way, when it's like this, it's building up extra cold air. It wants to push into it, stretch it, and then watch. And then break it. Look at that. Break it in half. Again, if this happens, this happened in 2018, our winter was elongated. We had well below average temperatures through halfway through April. So this is something we're watching. And this is going to start happening mid-February. And we could see a lag, but this is, again, could contribute to late. And when I say late, I mean February, March, winter storms farther south than they should be. So this is an outlook, but this is something that a lot of different weather centers, not just in the U.S., but over in Europe, have been looking at, because this affects Europe as well. If this happens, this can have a significant effect on Europe as well. You can see this pushing this troughing down into Europe. So they're watching this, and a lot of them think over there that this is going to happen. So, and you can just take a look at our freaking our Arctic oscillation that wants to just stay negative forever with our EPO, WPO, and NAO. That's pretty good agreement that is probably going to happen. So something we're watching, but that's what I've been talking about, where I post videos saying, have we seen the worst to winter yet in the East? Because it doesn't seem like we have. It actually seems like we may see a more significant winter outbreak than we've seen even yet this season. Okay, Wednesday the 12th. What's the outlook in New Jersey? I'll tell you what the Euro says. The Euro thinks it's going to be cold, and there's going to be a huge blizzard moving through. Okay, but again, we're expected to be in a cold pattern around that time. Is this massive blizzard nor'easter going to be moving through at that time? Too far out to tell. It's kind of in la la land. We need to get a little bit closer to get that in forecasting range. I appreciate the follows. I appreciate the subs, guys. If it does snow in the southeast, how many inches is it snowing? Well, again, too early to tell, because there's nothing in forecasting range. The outlook, just like as we were in, thank you guys. When we were in December, we said the atmospheric setup looks primed to bring 1 or 2, maybe 3 snowstorms into the south in January, and it did. We're seeing a primed atmosphere and outlook for potentially that into the second half in early March. Second half of February, early March down the south too. So I don't think we're going to see 2, 3 winter storms in the south. I think one more could be possible, way farther south than it should be as we push into late February, early March. So, but I do think Mid-Atlantic, Ohio Valley is going to see a kind of a good amount of snow late second half of February into March for sure. More than they're expecting. How much snow are we predicting for Denver? What, short term? Let's take a look here. Here's our. We'll go to. Well, I mean, we can go to our 18Z here. Look about a week out. Doesn't want any snow into Denver. If we really want to go in our long term here, not much snow even in the long term until you get way far out, where the Euro thinks you could get buried in a foot of snow. But that's like 2 weeks out, so that's not going to be too accurate. Mountains are getting some snow over there. Has to do with this atmospheric river kind of letting some of that snowfall creep into the Rockies. Yeah, Maryland would be involved too. Eastern North Carolina, we aren't seeing the Arctic blast we're expecting mid-February dipping that far south. But if our polar vortex does split, it would move farther south. And you can see right there in the Euro, look how close it brings snow back into Eastern North Carolina. I mean, it puts snow back into Virginia Beach down here. So we'll see. It's something to watch out for. We'll see. Do I think St. Louis will get a lot of snow? Yeah, I mean, potentially mid-February. You can see where our jet stream wants to go like this, negative or kind of into negative EPO look. And this would be an okay snowstorm for St. Louis potentially, and this. So you guys are going to have your chances mid-February. That's for sure. You'll be in the winter storm track path based on where our jet stream is setting up. Has it ever snowed in Orlando, Florida, or Tampa? Yeah, it snowed in both those places. It accumulated almost an inch and a half of snow accumulated in Miami back in like the 60s or something like that, 60s or 70s. Inch and a half of accumulation in Miami, Florida. So it has, and it will again. I doubt this winter. Snow in Florida is a once every few decades. I mean, Panhandle of Florida gets snow like once a decade, if not sometimes even more. But down, Orlando and south, that's more of a once every few decade type of thing. I think it's only ever snowed in Miami like twice in the one time they actually got accumulation. I mean, in recent history. Snow for Dallas, Texas. Yeah, you can see where some of these systems want to originate once we get a really, really steep negative EPO. You can see where the Euro wants to dig in this trough right here to your north. It's not impossible. We see these troughs amplified with a polar vortex that wants to dig that cold air farther into the south. Yeah, Dallas isn't out of the question. There's nothing in the forecast right now for it, but with this type of pattern, you could see that cold air push a little bit farther south. Chance for a major snowstorm in Baltimore. They're better than they should be. Second half of February and early March because of this pattern we're moving into. They're higher than they normally would be. We can go take a look here too with our latest Euro and actually let's go European ensemble. Panels, probabilities, winter. Here is you can see this. This is our probability of seeing an inch or more of accumulating snow over the next 2 weeks based on our European ensembles. Tons of different runs of our best snow model. And you can see we've got that snow line. Look where it shifted. It's starting to shift south again, just like it did in January. It's pretty far south. It's starting to get into these states. The northern tier, North Carolina, really most of the state. Northern South Carolina, Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, almost touching down there towards Louisiana. You've got kind of Dallas in there. This has been lowering. These probabilities have been lowering and increasing farther south as we move forward in time because this AO is dropping and our polar jet's supposed to slow. I wouldn't be surprised if we move forward a week and you see the probability down here of this line. Again, down here, this is only a 10 to 30% chance where you see these purples to the light blues, but it's very far south for a snow probability line. And like I said, I expect it to decrease a little bit more because of this pattern we're going into, giving you guys a chance, not a very great chance, but a chance for a decent snow here in late February, early March, which is tough. It's a good setup. I like it. I like it for you guys. I do. It's a fun. This has been a fun winter to talk about because not all winters are like this. Some, there's in the Mid-Atlantic and South, and these regions have been just seeing nothing for the last few years, and been really no kind of excitement around it. Your Facebook feed would explode if Northerners saw snow at Disney, so eventually, but not yet. Yeah, I mean, it'll snow in Orlando again in our lifetime, probably multiple times, but it's like a once every 20, 30 year type of thing. They get flakes down there every like 5 to 10 winters. They'll get like snowflakes, but accumulation super rare. What's going on, Yogu? Hopped over to the YouTube. Well, Lala, it's not as much that TikTok spamming. There's just a lot more people in chat. Do you think this could be like 2021 for Texas? No. That you had your chance to see that with that big Arctic dive that we had in January. I don't think this would be that significant, but we could be holding cold air in the south for longer. Meaning your temperatures could get cold for a longer period of time than they should in as we get into the later portions of winter. Addison, I appreciate you. I hope we don't see that major freeze again in Texas, but we had that opportunity in January. I am Lala. Hope you are too. Did I say Layla before? Will it snow in Louisiana? Not impossible with this outlook, but still, obviously, it's tough to get snow in Louisiana if it's not in the first week of February or in January, which is our coldest time of the year in the Northern Hemisphere. You know what I mean? Snow in Atlanta, Georgia again soon. Santiago, probably in the mountains to the north. It's not impossible to see snow. Sorry, guys. It's not impossible to see snow in Atlanta again. I mean, our European model almost wants to bring that snow line back down there. So It's not impossible to get snow back into Atlanta late in February, early March with this type of setup, but none in the forecast yet. New York City snow looks the chances for snow in New York City are greatly increasing middle February and then through the second half of February. As we can see, I mean, it's as simple as looking at our teleconnections. This is more like climatology stuff that gives us a better read on this type of stuff. Negative AO, this means well below average temperatures moving into the lower 48 from the west to the east coast. Negative EPO, this favors that cold air being out east. So does the WPO negative right there. And here's the most important part of all this. Great, we have all this cold air out in the east that's looking to transition into the east as we get into the second half of February, much colder than average. This right here is our sign for potential big mid-Atlantic snow because this is a negative NAO. When your pressure decreases between your Icelandic low and your Azores high, it allows a ridge to build, and that ridge builds over Greenland, and it blocks that cold air and those winter storms that track from moving out over the Atlantic Ocean, and instead they move up the East Coast. So this is our telltale sign right here that we could see something big through New York City for you, Jaden. So, but again, sometimes the storms move just to your west or just to your east. You still need it's a very precipitation's weird. It can affect the region but not necessarily your city, but it's a good outlook for New York, for NYC. Hold up. Look at that fix. Central Ohio going to get more snow this winter. Very likely. I'd be shocked if you guys didn't see a good amount of snow moving forward. I just need a blizzard. Yeah. Well, you have a chance. I mean, hey, you can take the euro. If you want to take the euro at its word, this would be almost like a blizzard right here for New York City. So, what's our latest GFS doing? Doing anything crazy around that time frame as well? Yeah, look at the GFS. That's pretty much that's a blizzard on the front end of this storm too. At the same time, the Euro and GFS completely agree at the same exact time at the 12th. That's model consensus very far out. So again, they're really probably taking into account the teleconnection setup and all that good stuff. Here is our latest forecast update from the CPC. Now, I haven't looked at this. I would expect this is our 6 to 10 day temperature forecast. I would expect this to probably shift the cold air to shift east as we go into the 8 to 14 day. There we go. And it does. Shocker. So you can see as our polar jet slows, we're going to see just the entire country really going into well below average temperatures. I think this will decrease in the next run as well. This right here, Florida's going to stay pretty hot for a little bit longer. But you'll get it on some of this cold action late in February as well. Well below average action. All right. I drink way too much energy drinks today. Hey, Carolina. I just want snow in North Carolina. You guys will have another shot here. What's our precip outlook? Look at this. Past couple winters in Pittsburgh hasn't been nearly as exciting as this year. Yeah. Well, and there's more coming for Pittsburgh. That's for sure. I can tell you that. Here's if you want to. Sometimes I don't take the Euro at its word when I go like this and I go all the way out and I show where it wants snow. What I do by doing this is this allows me to say, okay, look a week forward. Where's our winter storm tracks? To the north. You can tell where the jet stream is just based on where the Euro wants to put snow. Our jet stream's a zonal flow. That's why our winter storms are to the north. Then as we get into the second week of February, watch where our snow starts to fall. Down here, what does this tell me? Our jet stream dropped and is probably like this, which is reflected in our teleconnections. And then you see this, and you start to see snow fill in here. That means our jet stream is dropping even more and going like this. So our jet stream is going to go from like this to like this, and then continue to dig. But I think this cold air does begin to kind of engulf farther down into the east, and we probably see the ridge return out west and that coldest air into the east as we get into the third week of February. But this is kind of what the Euro thinks snowfall wise, which is this is just burying a ton of snow forever. This is just a crazy snowfall outlook, obviously. Canadian doesn't go as far out, but the Canadian starts to bring that snow down into here as well. The model just ends earlier, but it would bring it right there as well. And then you can see the GFS. What they all agree on is a ton of snowfall for the U.S. moving forward. Like, look at the way they all paint the states. You don't always see this even in a 2-week outlook. So the end of the run doesn't really mean much, but you can tell our jet stream's lowering. How much ice for Northwest Ohio? You know, models don't do good at predicting ice within 24 hours. So if you want me to predict ice 120 hours out, I guess 78 hours out, I just can't. Right now, it's looking like a tenth to a 20th of an inch, which is okay, which isn't like anything that's going to take out the power or anything, but just not great to drive in. But we need to wait a little bit longer to give you an accurate ice total. Ice is, if it's cold from the floor to the ceiling, it's snow. If it's warm, if it's cold, warm, cold, you can get kind of a sleet. If it's warm, top 2/3 of the atmosphere, and then cold at the bottom, that's how you get ice. These models, you know, if it's all warm, it's rain. The hardest things to predict are sleet and ice, because you need to know what's going on temperature-wise with every layer of the atmosphere, and you have to predict that, you know, hundreds of hours out. To start, I'm low-key hoping we get some snow again in Wilmington. Oh my gosh, it's gonna be tough. It's not impossible with the outlook we have moving forward, though. Jason and Mama 3, I appreciate you guys. What's going on, Pam? What is going on, Pam? Here's your latest outlook right here, Pam. We'll just move forward. I mean, yeah. This is kind of your first 2 weeks of February outlook from the Euro. Obviously, wanting to paint this entire Central Plains region with snow. Is that going to happen like that? Probably not. But there's going to be a lot of precipitation over that region. Here's your GFS. So you can see there's pockets that are going to miss. Obviously, we're not going to see any big snow system that's going to push through the Central Plains, and we're not going to see a snowstorm that's going to push through the Central Plains and just bury everyone in snow like this. You will see different snowstorms move to the south, to the north. So we'll have to see. But again, jet stream's up here to the north right now. It's going to dig like this. That's going to allow that snow that's falling up here in North, South Dakota, Minnesota, Montana, everywhere up there to shift down to the south into Nebraska, potentially Iowa, northern Missouri, northern Kansas. I know. Yeah. Omaha's been dodging. We've been seeing snow slightly to the north and slightly to the south of you guys. Although, to be fair, actually, the Northern Plains has really, really struggled with snow this winter. They're getting it now. North Dakota and South Dakota and portions of Montana and Wyoming, they're getting it now, but they've pretty much seen none. Thank you, Pam. I appreciate that, Pam. I'm sick of driving in the snow day in and day out. Central New York. Oh, yeah, like upstate New York's getting a decent amount, or has started to in January, and you guys have a couple snowstorms that are going to pile up a little bit more up there. This one could be some decent snow for you. The GFS and moving into Saturday, Sunday this weekend, that's going to be interesting. That's going to be an interesting snowstorm for upstate New York. Potential blizzard-like conditions with those, how close those isobars are too. Deepening low pressure. Let me see here. Anything for Virginia anytime soon? No snow in the forecast. We're watching the potential for some severe weather into Friday, but it doesn't look like it's going to be too bad. But we could have some cells moving through Virginia there. You know, the Euro and the GFS both see this snowstorm just plummeting 6 inches to a foot of snow through all of Virginia. They both see it. There's model consensus on it, but there's model consensus on it out here. So we'll watch this. This is going to be big snow for someone. Could shift farther to the south, could shift farther to the north. But that's, if you're in Virginia and you want a big snowstorm, there is a signal for it out towards the 12th of February. But a little far out, we got to wait on an accurate forecast for it. That would affect Long Island as well. That would affect the Mid-Atlantic. It would. What's going on? My day's been good. It's going to be a long week of work, though. It's going to be a long week of work. Cincinnati, we almost melted this snow away from a month ago. We need more. Yeah, I mean, Ohio Valley is going to see more snow. You can look at how active these storm tracks are, guys, for the Ohio Valley. Now, these start severe, more severe weather, rainfall, thunderstorms, and then you get the dip in the jet stream and you start to see snow moving through the region again. So, you know, we'll see how that shapes out, but the jet stream's going to dip. How far it dips and when it dips is going to determine if that snow moves to the south of you like this in Ohio or if it just goes directly over you. I need a blizzard in Philly. There's one projected around. There's a blizzard in Philly projected for like the 11th to the 13th. I'm not sold on it because it's too far out, but we'll talk about it. Restroom break. I'll be right back, guys. I'm back, chat. I'm back. Telgers dump on Greensboro, North Carolina. Ha. Okay, here. Sorry. I'm back. I appreciate the follows, appreciate the subs, guys. I'm close to my watch hours on YouTube to be able to start getting members over there, which is exciting. Since TikTok has come back and it's completely destroyed the creator rewards program and all monetization on it, I'm beginning to want to favor YouTube. It's tough over here for a TikTok creator. We have a little snow in New Jersey. How much you think we gonna get? There's no telling. I want to let you guys know, if there's no snow in your significant snow in your forecast here for the next 5 days, I don't know how much you're gonna get. I don't know if you're gonna get it, but I'm gonna go through this again just so everyone understands what's happening, because this is important. This should answer a lot of people's questions. This is our Arctic oscillation. We're positive right now. When we're positive, here's normal. We're positive. When we're positive, this typically means we're pretty hot in the U.S., which we are if you're not up in, the very, very far northern states. This typically goes negative when our polar jet starts to get disrupted, which it is being disrupted. And look at it continue negative as we push into February, especially as we cross into that mid-February time frame, 13th through the 15th. Real negative. At the same time, we see our EPO negative. That's cold air. WPO negative, below average air. NAO negative, below average air, and a storm track for the East Coast, winter storm tracks for the East Coast. And this also, a negative NAO puts a block. It's called we get like kind of an omega block where you have a big ridge building up over Greenland. Say, okay, here's the United States. I'm gonna do a really good job at drawing the United States for you guys, just to represent what this shows. Okay, here's the United States. Let's see how good I can do. Okay. I feel like I did a pretty good job there. Okay, here's Greenland. Okay. Canada. Okay. Mexico. I just feel like I'm doing a really good job. South America, Cuba, Yucatan Peninsula. I did a really good job there. I'm not even going to lie, guys. So what this is representing is a not bad at all. Absolutely. Thank you. What this is representing when this goes negative is you start to get a ridge like this. Big ridge. Imagine this is just a big high pressure full of warm air. And our cold air, our AO, which I showed you that's going negative, that means we have cold air plunging into the states. Now, if our NAO is negative at the same time that AO is negative, this cold air wants to move out, and it's like, can't, runs right into that ridge, and it's blocked. That's a blocking pattern. And so that cold air has no choice but to dig even farther to the south. And you just get storms that just ride up the coast and ride up through the Ohio Valley. Why? Because they can't go out over the Atlantic because there's a big blocking pattern there. So our NAO is really more important, not because of cold air, but for that block, because this amplifies our polar jet slip. And I showed you all this earlier. But here's our we don't talk about our stratospheric polar vortex enough. It's like the ugly stepchild. What is it? The ugly redheaded stepchild? Is that the saying? But this thing, and there's been a lot of articles coming out about this, and Europe's especially concerned about this. We have a very strong polar vortex right now, which is why we're cooking down here in the States. Let them cook. But as we move forward, we want a high. We want some warm air to push into our stratosphere and our troposphere up there in the Arctic. That's going to allow a high pressure to build, and this thing's going to stretch. That's not a very strong polar vortex, and most of these models have this thing breaking. And boom, now you have two polar vortexes, and one just happens to be moving down over the states with the ridge building out here. Okay, this would be significant. This would mean colder weather, a longer winter for the entire lower 48, but especially a longer winter and potentially more snowy winter for the eastern portion of the U.S. Late in February through March and the beginning of April. I mean, this happened in 2018, and we had very winter-like conditions through almost midway through April because we had a polar jet split, and we had some cold air just sink down into here for way longer than it should have been. So again, I can't tell you if you're going to see snow again in Atlanta, Georgia, Charlotte, North Carolina, Baltimore, Virginia, Nashville, Louisiana, Dallas, Texas. What I can tell you is if you want the chance to, this is the type of setup you'd want to happen, because this is going to give you a better chance of seeing snow than of not seeing it. So, really, if this were to happen, which it's being forecast on the Canadian, the Euro, and the GFS, so all models, all model consensus across the globals. Sometimes we get model consensus across the globals and it still doesn't happen. Brittany, what's going on? Yeah, Brittany, don't believe that. Come on, you're better than that. February 18th to the 20th. Yeah, way too far out. But we've seen across the board model consensus and then something not play out. But your odds, it's like a 70% chance we see something like this play out with all that model consensus. So everyone's chances for more an extended winter down here and an extended period for a chance for snow is increased with this type of climatological event unfolding. Climatological. Yeah, just meteorological terms that I should know how to say, and I can't because I'm dyslexic. Okay. Anyways, so yeah, I mean, there's not snow in the forecast for a lot of the people who are asking these questions, but there's your snow potential in the outlook is up. Climatological. There you go. Jeez. Yeah, Kendra, I had a good weekend, but a busy one. So someone's talking about the 18th to the 20th for snow for you. Oh my God. Are they looking at the freaking CFS? The only model that can see that far out. There's one model that can see that far out, Brittany, and it's a CFS. And this is an experimental model that is, let's just say, the last model we ever look at because of how inaccurate it is. Let's see. Not even the CFS sees it. What is... Now, the CFS does agree that we're with this kind of all the snow returning back east and cold weather. You can see the pattern out there. See how far south it wants to bring that snow? Right here. But I don't know what model is talking about that time frame. Oh, this right here. The far end of the most updated GFS, the far end wants a big snowstorm down here in the south to cut up. Now, this is an impressive look, guys. I will tell you this. This future radar is going to be inaccurate. But this is almost like a zonal flow, but it's a zonal flow that's in the southern U.S. of basically our polar jet. This would be crazy because usually when this happens, it's because you have a big trough, tilting trough, bringing cold air down and then moving it out quickly. If we were to get a zonal flow setting up that far south, we would see below average temps and wintry weather down here for like 2 weeks. That's a crazy... Like I always say, grain of salt. I'm not going to believe the end of the GFS run there. The European does do some crazy stuff too, just because we have so many weird things happening with that potential split. You can see how far south but our European has this more as a troughing, not as a zonal flow, which this is more expected than the crazy GFS look that we just saw. Will snow be in Dallas? Dallas, Georgia? I don't know. Where's Dallas, Georgia? There's a chance to get snow back into Georgia, like we've been talking about. I don't know where Dallas, Georgia is, though. Yeah. Anyone who's saying that, Brittany, hey, Brittany, if they end up being right, it's because they were lucky, but there's a very small % chance that they're correct. Tell me who they are if that ends up happening. I live in Maine. Do you think I'll have school in the morning? Are you guys getting a lot of snow up there? You guys are getting some snow. Pretty big snowstorm actually moving into south central Maine and coastal Maine. I don't know. Listen, my wife's from Minnesota, and they could have a foot of snow fall overnight, and they wouldn't cancel school. She said they would cancel school for cold temperatures more than for snow because they were so used to these bus drivers and up there. They were so used to getting so much snow. So I think it really depends on where you live and how your city operates. I should have got water. My throat is killing me again tonight. Will DC get snow? The Mid-Atlantic's in a great spot for the second half of February, like I said. Snow chances would be up. Not a bad setup for you guys. Not at all. Need a blizzard in New York? Well, again, I can tell you, I can shout it from the rooftops. Look at this pattern. Look at the storm after storm. Look at the storm after storm after storm after storm after storm that wants to push through this region, this region, this region. We're having our vortex, our polar vortex, our polar jet slip, stretch, maybe break, a compression of our cold air down into the lower 48 and a negative NAO, which increases storm tracks out here. So again, Mid-Atlantic, New England, your winter's not over at all. We're going to see a lot of chances here. Just wait. Oh my God. I wish I could fast forward a week so you guys understand the amount of snowstorms we're about to see out in the east. Oh my gosh. February is going to be record breaking for some areas. This is pivotal weather. Okay, I know I just was away. Let me just get some water. My throat is killing me. I need to get some water. Ay. Sorry, chat. It's my son's fault. I'm back, chat. Oh, wait, chat. I saw you. Woo! Hey-o. 18Z is what time again? Well, 6 p.m. But when you look at, it's really yeah, that's our 6 p.m. update. But like if you were to look at the European and like you were to see like, oh, Wednesday at 06Z, that's actually for the East Coast, Wednesday at midnight. It's 6 hours fast on these models. If that makes sense. So it says right here that this is the second 18Z 6 p.m. This is lag. I mean, this is a little bit of an older model, but if we were to go here and it says the fourth 15Z, this would actually be 9 p.m. or 9 a.m. That's 3 p.m., but this would actually be 9 p.m. on the East Coast, I believe. However that timeline works, like that, whatever. Is the storm coming through Wisconsin on Wednesday more snow or more of a mix? It's a good question. If you are in Milwaukee and Madison, it's probably going to be a mix and ice. But there's a potential to maybe get some good snow into Green Bay and north. How is Louisville looking this week? Heard there might be some storms. Oh, yeah. Potential for some severe weather right here. Wednesday night into Thursday morning. And then, again, the potential for some more severe weather Saturday into Sunday, this upcoming weekend. But then you get cold air returning. Then it looks like we're going to have, again, our AO's going negative. Winter weather, winter cold air is going to be pushing back down south as we get into the end of the second week of February. And that cold air is expected to hold and increase. You can see here. So I've been saying it, my big clickbaity titles. A return to winter for the East. The worst of winter yet to come. It's not really clickbait. It's just true. No, I think February storms are going to be wild. This is going to be the worst of winter, I think. It is. I'm telling you. Derek, Pam, I appreciate you. Unfortunately, with social media, unless you have a clickbaity title, you're never going to grow your channel and you're never going to be relevant. Although my titles aren't clickbaity enough. I like the people who have like I know a lot of people have like prepare catastrophic. It's like mine are actually on the lower end of clickbaity compared to other creators. Maybe I should really amp it up, guys. I will say though, this winter has provided plenty of reasons for people to post clickbaity weather titles, especially if we get this polar vortex split, which is looking like it's going to happen mid-February. God, people won't even know, because that's like people won't even know how to even make that more clickbaity than it already is. Maddox, what's going on? Do you know if Newport, Rhode Island will get any snow? I feel like you don't have to say the city in Rhode Island, because Rhode Island's the size of a city. You know what I mean? Rhode Island's like the size. No, I think metropolitan Philly's probably bigger than Rhode Island. So that would be like saying a neighborhood in Philadelphia if they're going to get snow. Rhode Island does look like you guys are going to get some snow moving into the second or third week of February. You have an active storm track through that region. Yes. Yes. Second or third week of February, you can see we're watching for the chance for this. This is a good chance for snow right there in the immediate future between the 7th and the 10th. You got another shot right here, right behind it, between the 11th and the 13th. And then maybe more to come. But with that shift of the NAO, yeah. New Jersey Blizzard is not out of the cards with the negative AO and negative NAO setting up in our teleconnections. That's right. What's going on, Michael? What is going on? West Virginia Panhandle Wednesday. This upcoming Wednesday. Wednesday evening. Yeah, I'd be watching for some severe weather. What's our teleconnections looking like through that region? I mean, sorry, not our teleconnections. Not too bad. Not too bad. Just want to see the soundings for you guys. Yeah, I mean, you're going to be under severe weather watch. Man, hail and strong winds is going to probably be an issue for some areas through the Ohio Valley, especially there through Ohio, northern West Virginia, western. Indiana's going to see some decent storms moving through too. Northern Kentucky, Ohio, northern West Virginia, and then into western PA. It's going to be a messy one. Do you think the snow line can possibly dip into central and south Texas? Yeah, it can. It probably will. Our European ensemble probability snow line. Yeah, right now it's brought it back down here, but I think it probably will bring it farther down south again. I think the Euro is going to give you guys down here a chance for snow again, on the ensemble at least. Second half of February. Dallas, Georgia is northwest of Atlanta. Really? Let's see here. Dallas, Georgia. Ah, I see. Just to the northwest of Atlanta. Yeah, I mean, you guys are getting a return to a winter feel second half of February. We'll see. If the vortex does split, we could see a winter track go that far south. Could. You can see how far south the Euro wants to bring this snow again. Not impossible. Not in the forecast right now, but our outlook's looking very interesting for a return to maybe a southern snow track. So the later you get in the season, the harder it is to get that cold air down there, but not if you have a polar vortex split like that, or even a stretch of the polar vortex. Sometimes you don't really necessarily need a split. That's second half of February. Seattle area snow. What's our latest Euro thinking on that low elevation snowfall for you guys? Here's that troughing coming in, and oh wow, look at that big snow. That's low elevation snow for Oregon right there. Let's see here. Here's our Euro. Look, I mean, it wants to fill in some snow into Seattle potentially. Potentially Wednesday into Thursday still. So we'll see. Same with Portland. It wants that coastal low elevation snow. Or that snow in the valley. Wednesday into Thursday. It's crazy how much snow falls around Seattle and Portland with none falling in it. But you should have cold enough surface temperatures to get some low elevation in there. Gavin said, dude. Anything in the future for Arizona? Arizona's going to be a little bit dry and a little bit hot here for a while. We can take a look. Forecast. Precip. Look at that down there in the southwest. Precipitation forecast moving forward. Dry. Same here. About average moving forward. But this is what's significant. Look at our 6 to 10 day outlook precipitation wise. And look at as we get into the middle of February. We're going to have temperatures dropping down here and precipitation increasing. This is going to be a big snow track out here, I think. Second half of February. See, as we really push into the second half, that cold air, below average air wants to push into that precipitation boundary. Appreciate the follows, guys. Appreciate the subs. Thank you. Anything in the future for the high Sierras? I mean, are you guys not supposed to get snow in like the next 48, 58 hours? Sierra Nevadas are getting slammed right now. Absolutely buried. Especially as we get into Tuesday, it looks like. And then there's a storm right behind it moving into the weekend. You guys are getting a lot. Shout out mods. Thank you, mods. What is Minneapolis gonna get tonight? Now let's look at our latest HRRR in Minneapolis. Good old Minneapolis. Good old Minneapolis. Wow. HRRR likes to keep that just... Oh, no. Let's go to the O2Z. This is going to drop it south. Yeah. Still keeping it pretty low. 1 to 2 inches. Really? Yeah. I mean, our latest model thinks 1 to 2 inches, but this is cutting to the south. I think you guys are going to overperform 1 to 2 inches. Just by taking a look at our latest radar right here. I mean, look at this. This is all snow. This is all snow. Where's our city? There's St. Paul, Minneapolis right here up to the... There we go. I mean, you guys, correct me if I'm wrong, but you should have some decently heavy snow falling in Minneapolis right now. The heaviest snow band is right to the north. Rowville, Columbia Heights, Crystal, Shoreview. But this is... You can see this dry pocket in here that some areas are getting. But, no, I think you could... Yeah, that's weird. The HRRR says 1 or 2 inches. James, how's the snow looking there right now? Here, let me do this. Let me do this, guys. Something doesn't seem right about this. Let's go up here. Let's go surface observations. All right, it's 32 degrees right now in Minneapolis. We can see these snow bands setting up through this region. Oh, sorry, you guys can't see that very well. We can see the heaviest snow bands through here, through here, through here. No snow at the moment. Interesting. Snow on the radar. You could be dry. Shouldn't be too dry. You should be able to get a lot of this to the south. The heaviest snow band is just to the north of Minneapolis right now. I'm talking about like maybe 10, 15 miles. Although it looks out to your west, though, that band of snow could come in. I think you guys are probably going to outperform an inch or two. Let me know tomorrow. I'm surprised the HRRR is only predicting an inch or two. But just because this is pretty dragged out here. This is going to be sticking around here for a little bit. All right, guys. Sorry. We're back to reality. I mean, that was the closest to reality. That's actually a live radar. All right, here we go. We're back to the U.S. map. You know, Minnesota isn't really America. It's just southern Canada. That's why they all sound like Canadians. Like my wife. Just kidding. Oh, they do that. They have such a Canadian accent up there. Every time I go, I've been to the Minnesota Gopher games up there like 4 times. They go, "Go Gophers!" I'm like, you guys are Canadians. Go Gophers! Like they are full-blown Canadians. They don't even know it. Who talks like that? They say balcony and milk. And they say, "Oh yeah," like a lot. Everything. "Oh yeah." I'm like, what? Allentown, PA. Allentown, PA is probably going to have a good stretch, 1 or 2 good snowstorms, 1 or 2 good blankets of snow here in the second half of February. You're going to be seeing a little bit of ice and thunderstorm activity here moving forward in the short term. But again, once we get into that second and into the third week of February, a lot of that ice, severe weather is going to turn into snow because our jet stream, instead of sitting directly over your head, which it kind of is right now, Allentown, PA, it's going to be down here. So much colder air is going to be up here for you guys. Luka out to Dallas. What's to expect of Dallas? Yeah, what the heck? He didn't. Apparently, he didn't even request a trade. They were just like, listen, we know he's like statistically one of the best like 3 players in the NBA, but we're not feeling him. We'd rather take someone who's 7 years older than him and gets injured a lot. Who made that decision? I don't know a ton about basketball. I know that was stupid though. Well, I mean, I follow basketball, but I follow the NBA. Excited for possible snow. PA, yeah, February. We're gonna be seeing more snow in PA and pushing forward here in February. Trust me, our winter's not over in PA by any stretch of the imagination. They still calling for snow on the 12th, 13th in St. Louis. Cheering. No, hey, Kyle. I live in Philly. I'm not an Eagles fan. I hate the Eagles. I'm a Giants fan. I am. So no, I hope they get stomped. Yeah, in St. Louis, snow out there, 12th to the 13th. I know it looks like you guys are going to get big snow, but we need. I mean, these models want to give you back-to-back snow in St. Louis, 12th to the 13th. That's out of forecasting range, though. The atmospheric setup will be good for snow through the Central Plains. That is true, but out of forecasting range, so we don't know if that's going to happen yet. NBA views are down. They had to do something. Yeah. Seriously, NBA viewership's down like 25% this year. It's crazy. It's like the biggest drop-off ever. I don't know who to root for as a Giants fan. I have to root for the Chiefs. Oh, God. I live in Philly, and none of my friends or coworkers here will let me hear the end of it. So, I am all Chiefs. Shout out to you, Pam. Although, you're not... Pam, are you a Chiefs fan, right? I feel, is that the closest? Yeah, that's like the closest team to you. I feel like in Nebraska, you'd be either a Vikings fan or a Chiefs fan. Is there snow for Albany, New York? There's a lot of snow moving forward in the next couple of weeks for Albany, New York. This should be a decent snowfall right here. Sometimes between the 7th and 3 hours. Yeah. This, both models do like this snow event right here for Albany between the 8th and the 9th. We'll see another snow event possible there for Albany. Another snow event possible there. So good jet stream setup for Albany, New York to see above average snowfall moving forward in February. Next couple of storms for Chicago. First one, Euro wants ice. Second one, Euro wants snow and ice. And then third one, Euro wants all snow. Again, this region out here, guys, looks to be potentially pumping. We're getting snow up here right now, and it's going to shift to the south. And then we're going to see snow through here. And then maybe farther south. We'll see. The GFS, Canadian, want to do some silly things. But that polar vortex is stretching or breaking. I think it's definitely stretching. We'll see if it breaks. Winter is here to stay. I am sorry, Julie, and anyone else who hates winter, but I'm just the messenger once again. You want my thoughts on Saquon and the GM? Well, Saquon told the management for the Giants that if he received a higher offer, he would let the Giants know so they could counter it. He received a higher offer by $1 million, and he accepted it, and he didn't let the Giants know. So, really, our GM made a bad decision, but Saquon just straight up lied. Saquon was like, I'll let you know if there's a higher offer. I don't know why Saquon wouldn't have gone back to the Giants, because they may have given him even more. And if he was really all just about getting the bag, clearly he wanted a championship, which is good for him. But that was kind of, Saquon just lied, just straight up lied. Can't really blame him. But you're a Pats fan. Hate Kansas City. I'm not ignoring you, Santiago. Wait, what did you say? Did I miss something? Wait, Santiago, who you're a fan of? New York ain't a Super Bowl team. My name is Connor, and I'm going into meteorology. What's up? What's up? Nice, nice, nice. Love to hear it. Meteorology is a lot cooler than a lot of people give it credit for, guys. I'm being completely unbiased when I say that, clearly. No, I love it. Will the Chiefs have good weather for their victory parade? I don't know where the victory parade is, but I'll let you know. Will New York City get snow in the next couple of weeks? I think so. Shalom. I do. I don't see the New York Giants getting chipped for a while either. You like European football, Santiago? Well, correct me if I'm wrong, chat. I know, sorry, we need to talk about weather, but the original name for football in Europe was actually soccer, and it was like a poor man's sport. And then they changed the name from soccer to football. And so you can go look it up right now. The original name for the sport that was created, that you kick the ball with your feet and you put it in a goal, the original name was soccer, and it was for poor people. It was a poor people sport. The peasants played it, and then they turned it into football. So all I'm saying is, I think Americans actually call it the right thing, if you want to be technical about it. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, not to mention, without us, there'd be no Europe. Add that in there, a couple of world wars there, one. But anyways, Scranton, PA snow totals Wednesday night into Thursday. You guys, I don't expect. Maybe up in Scranton. Maybe up in Scranton you do get some good snow totals. What's our Euro think for you guys? Because there's gonna be a lot of ice down there. Our Euro thinks maybe an inch or two, if you're lucky. Because I think some of that's gonna be ice instead of snow. We'll go take a look up here. Yeah. Our Euro's thinking 1 to 3, but we're gonna have some of this is gonna be mixing and is going to be ice. So I'd be careful about. I'd take the lower end if you don't want to be disappointed. But again, we look what our Model C's happening, moving in over the weekend. Boom, that could be a big Scranton snow. And potentially big snow for the DMV as well. So we're watching that. Keeping our eye on it. What about the South? Well, week 3 and 4 of February, our jet stream does look to drop down south, and your chances for snow down in this region is going to increase. Do I think we're going to get more snow on the Gulf? Absolutely not. Do I think we could potentially get one more snowstorm in the South, meaning somewhere here through these states? Maybe, with the setup we have, maybe. That kind of answers your Charlotte, North Carolina question. The problem is, if the jet stream doesn't move far enough south, if we don't really get a polar jet split and we just get a stretch, that's going to leave you guys just to the south of these winter storms. And what happens just to the south of a strong winter storm is severe weather outbreaks. There's a drastic kind of flip there. So you're either going to get a chance for more snow, or you're going to see some significant severe weather for a couple of weeks. The wind over Boulder right now is insane. Let's take a look. We've got a third. Oh, man, look at that. 40 knot wind. 37 recorded. All right. Oh, wait. This isn't sustained, is it? This has got to be gusts. 1 second. Let's see here. 1 second, guys. Let's go to wind gusts. Here we go. Whoa. So you've got this sector out here with wind gusts over, 60 to 70 miles per hour pushing into that Boulder region right now. Look at that. That, my friends, is what we call a gust front. That is, you can see it right here, extending through Colorado all the way up through western and northwestern Wyoming, pushing out to the north and east. Big winds, 60, 70 mile per hour. Maybe some places, especially in elevation, could see hurricane force gusts. Yeah. Hello. Buffalo's pretty gusty right now, too. Buffalo's always got some crazy weather going on, honestly. What a crazy place. Who would ever want to live there? Just kidding. What a crazy place. Yeah, I mean, Wyoming's got some really, really strong wind whipping through there. That's a 30 mile per hour sustained wind right there. Sustained in Wyoming. Wyoming's mentioned, yes. Yeah, Wyoming's got some hurricane force gusts whipping through it right now. And I believe some snowfall. Or let's look at our radar real quick. Some snow up in the elevations, but this is going to be some good precipitation moving through the state as well right now. You guys can't see that. There you go. My brother played hockey in Casper, Wyoming for a couple of years. And he would be like, dude, it's so windy every day. I'm like, is it? And apparently, like, the windiest state in the country is Wyoming. The wind capital. Have you seen the potential snowstorm for the 18th through South Carolina? Yes, that's about as likely to happen as aliens coming down from outer space to talk to us tomorrow. We have a setup. I'm kind of joking, kind of not joking. We have the right setup for another southern snowstorms. So it's not crazy far-fetched. But if you see something on a future radar, one second, pivotal weather's frozen. One second, guys. If you see something on a future radar that's set 370 hours out, the odds of it happening are, 1 in 1,000. At this rate, you never know what could happen. 2025 has already been crazy, I know. So 376 hours out. So the end of our GFS run, we can kind of see, where did I see this? Was it not our GFS? Where did I see that craziness happening? Was it on the 12Z of the GFS? One second. Oh, here. I'm trying to figure out what model is showing this wildness. One second. I mean, none of this. Is it the CFS? Where are we? The 12Z of the GFS showed potential snow in the south, but people are talking about this 18th to the 20th thing. We don't even have models that can see out that far. Zero Z of the GFS is loading. Will there be a blizzard in West Virginia? Yeah, with this type of pattern, there potentially could be. This would be a West Virginia blizzard right here. You can see it on the GFS out near the 12th, 13th of February. European has a somewhat similar look. Again, it's a little far out. You got to take this with a grain of salt. You can see the GFS or the European putting blizzard-like conditions through West Virginia around the same time, 12th and 13th. Too far out of forecasting range, but again, our outlook likes snow moving back into the east and maybe back into the south. Valentine's Day. Sorry, my window's open. I was getting hot. I'm always wearing multiple jackets and complaining about getting hot. Yeah, I mean, here's your Valentine's Day on the Euro. The Euro wants a severe weather outbreak through the southeast for Valentine's Day. Luckily for you guys, that's 280 hours away, so that future radar is likely to change. Yeah, Tyler, I know the groundhog saw its shadow, but if the if the polar vortex splits like we think it could, it'll be more than 6 more weeks of winter. It'll be about 10 to 12 more weeks of winter. For those of you who don't know what we were looking at earlier, this is your polar vortex. We have a very strong polar vortex right now, which is why we're so hot down in lower 48. It's expected to stretch like this, and then it's expected to split according to multiple globals. If that happens, this happened in 2018, we had below average in winter-like conditions. One second. If that happens like it did in 2018, we had winter-like weather through April in the south. So we'll see. But the groundhog would be spot on. So no problem, Tyler. You must see outlook for Kansas City again. Maybe snow right there. Who knows? 11th and 12th. Maybe big snow. 13th and 14th. Take it with a grain of salt, though. That's far out. But the jet stream's dropping over you guys. Cold air's coming back, and probably some precipitation. Should North Georgia get cold weather, snow again? High of 65 tomorrow. North Georgia, you're going to get a winter cool down again mid-February and into late February. Should hold around. So your winter's not done, and your chances for snow aren't done. Mezzo Matt has entered the chat. Good. I need someone to talk to about this. And Brian, I appreciate you. Guys, Mezzo Matt's in here. He's your severe weather expert. Ava, I appreciate you. MESOMATT. If you don't follow him, show him some love. He's on YouTube and TikTok. Mezzo Matt. And he is always covering. Him and his team, who help me moderate in my chats too, they're great at covering severe weather outbreaks. He does a lot of streaming on that. So, Matt. Here's our polar vortex, Matt. There it is, stratospheric polar vortex, the important one. Here's the stretch. High building in the Arctic. Here's what everyone's been talking about, Matt. I mentioned Wyoming, Matt. Here, watch this. Boop. That right there. If you know anything about a polar vortex, it should not look like this. This is an unhealthy... Hey, Racy. This is an unhealthy polar vortex, meaning cold air plunging into Europe and the lower 48. This is what a polar vortex should look. If this were to split, again, this is what happened in 2018, and we would just have a pocket of cold air, and if we had, like we're expected to in our teleconnections, negative NAO, and negative NAO is represented by our weakening of our Icelandic low, the pressure gradient between our Icelandic low and our Azores high down here. That's ridging. That's major blocking with a polar vortex break or split. That's polar air down here in the U.S. with blocking out to our east. That is a recipe for big snowstorms out in the east, which is what our European and GFS models are starting to show. This is what a lot of people have been talking about. And it's not just the Euro. Here's the GFS on it too. Watch this. Here's the GFS. The GFS likes a complete split. Look at that. Break it in half. So, fun stuff. Not the aliens. I'm honestly hoping the cold air... One second, let me move this back here. I'm honestly hoping the cold air and snow moves back through the Atlanta area because the 70s in February is ridiculous. I know. I think ice will be bad Wednesday and Sunday in northern Illinois. Again, I don't trust any of my ice totals until we're within like 12 to 24 hours. You can see the look here in northern Illinois, though. Right now, the Euro likes the potential of almost up to a half inch of ice in some areas, so something to prepare for. This would just halt so much. This would just highways, airports. This would be bad. That would be a transportation halt right there. When is that expected? What, the split? Oh, that ice Wednesday, the split in the vortex might happen mid-February. What up, Julie? Shout out, Julie. Shout out, Julie. Shout out to Julie's baby, too. Yeah, Mezzo. Mention Wyoming, too. What are you doing? Are my comments going through? They are. I probably missed a couple of them, Matt. I probably missed a couple of them. Here, let's give you a call real quick. I want to get your opinion on something.
Hello.
All right. What are we thinking about for our severe weather in the Ohio Valley on Wednesday?
Yeah, so I was just looking at the 18Z on the Euro because I've been slow and watching NASCAR all night. It looks good. I think the GFS and the Euro are starting to align as far as instability is there. It looks like a marginal slight day to me. Slight on the high risk side of things. If we go higher with it, and then marginal than anything.
Do you think the worst of it stays north of Kentucky?
So it looks like it's going to be southern Illinois, southern and central Indiana, western Kentucky, eastern Missouri, and then maybe a little bit of western Ohio. But there's another thing I want you to. I don't know if you've seen the second one on Saturday yet. That one looks also pretty intriguing.
It does.
So I think we'll have to see. They might SPC could. We're in day 4 range, day 3 range tonight for Wednesday. So they might go ahead and issue the marginal tonight on it.
Yeah, nothing yet. I'd be surprised. I think if they didn't.
Yeah, it'll be.
Oh wow, they have nothing.
Yeah, not yet. Yeah, they talked about it. They mentioned this morning issuing a probability for a 15% on Thursday, but did not due to confidence in the GFS. The Euro is what they like right now.
Okay. Well, I'll talk about that in tomorrow's video if it happens.
It'll be a low Cape high shear day.
Yeah. Yep. So, Brittany said, is it going to snow on the 18th? Everyone keeps talking about a big southern snowstorm the 18th through the 20th. Where are they getting this from? I can't find it on any model.
It's not. There's nothing for it. There's not anything. It was the 12Z or the
12Z GFS?
that showed it. Yeah.
Okay. I was going to say, that's the only one that shows anything developing.
It, and that was it. It's gone.
Yeah. Here we go. Wait, I think if you're watching my stream, I think it was, although you're going to be lagged behind. I think it was, oh yeah, there we go.
I'll be surprised if the OOZ shows it tonight, then we might have a little something. But if it doesn't show it, it's gone. It's an outlier. 3 foot of snow swath in my backyard.
Yeah, I will say if that polar vortex does split and not just stretch, and we continue to hold a negative NAO and that negative of an AO, it is not impossible to get snow back in those southern states again in February. I'm talking about Mississippi, Georgia, Alabama, South Carolina, North Carolina. So
yeah, we can do it again.
There you go. We'll do it again. All right. Talk to you a little bit later.
Sounds good, bud.
Peace. Nor'easter possible? 100% with this setup. Nor'easter is possible second half of February, early March. Yes. Possible. With this setup? Yes. Nothing to guarantee because it's out of forecasting range, but some other weather guy was saying over 30 inches on the 18th. Yeah. Can someone give... who was it? Can someone tell me who's telling everyone about this big major snowstorm on the 18th? I need to know. I want to watch the video that... I could probably find it scrolling through TikTok. Is it impossible? No. But that's an extremely irresponsible call. These models can barely predict snow 4 to 5 days out, and you want them to... And these people are confident in snow 14 days out? That is crazy. Brittany, oh, Jamie, okay, thank you. I need a little laugh. Again, it's not impossible, and I hope it does, but I do think it is possible for another southern snowstorm down here. With this setup, it is. Yeah, Brittany, DM me. I have to get up for work, guys, at like literally 4:35 in the morning. I have crazy meetings and stuff going on this week. I'll be back. I mean, I'm going to be going live every single night this week and posting videos, but I got to get off now just because I've got Ava having fun. I appreciate you guys. Appreciate the follows, appreciate the subs, but I have a crazy week ahead of me and I'm feeling sick, so that's just going to be fun. But we have so much to talk about this week, and especially getting into this weekend when we're going to be moving into this just insane middle to end of February, maybe even moving into March. We'll see, but there will be no shortage of conversations to be had. There's predictions for snow, blizzards, ice, severe weather, all out here. We've got an atmospheric river currently moving into the west. Potential for low elevation snow finally in Portland, Seattle. Big windstorms moving through the Rockies right now. Our severe weather threat's going to move from the Ohio Valley to the southeast moving forward. I mean, just tons of crazy stuff going on. So, thanks, Brittany. But I will see you guys on tomorrow. I'm going to try to get my normal time. I'll be on 8:30 to 9 for a couple hours. Put a video out for that. So, but yeah, I appreciate all of you being in here, and I got to get to bed so I don't lose my job. So my other job, hopefully within it, I would like to do this full time, and you guys being in here and supporting me makes that possible. So I appreciate all of you, and I will see everyone tomorrow. See you guys.